Welcome back to the Allegheny Northern in N-scale, and today we're going to talk about this relatively new thing in model railroading, and that is the pre-order. I'm sure you guys thought this video was coming because, well, it was the Communities tab poll that was posted roughly a week ago. And the reason why I posted this is because I've seen a lot of folks talking about it in the past, and I never really had an opinion on it. It was something that I just did because it was easy and convenient, but it became apparent to me the importance of it in this most recent round of locomotives that I bought. And so I figured, okay, well, maybe it's time that we have a little conversation about pre-orders and why we do pre-orders. And so I purchase through work a lot of things, and there's a lot of orders that I place, and a lot of them have lead time, and a lot of them are things that are made only to certain specifications when they're ordered, and in general they're not sitting on a shelf. And we live in a very consumeristic society where we expect that as soon as we walk into a store, everything that we want is going to instantly be there and ready to rock and roll. Unfortunately, in the world of producing and in the world of manufacturing, that's not very convenient or cost effective for producers. The reason being is when you make something, you then have to store that something until somebody buys it. And if nobody buys it, then you've spent a lot of resources making something that you can't do anything with. And now, not only do you have that thing, you also have to warehouse that thing. And so, for a lot of industries, they have gone to you ask for it, we make it, we send it to you. That doesn't really fit our consumer market that says, I want this thing, you advertise this thing, give me this thing right now. So that brings us into pre-orders. We're going to talk specifically about locomotives, but you can pre-order pretty much anything. And let's just jump into it and see what you guys said in the poll. Okay, so here's another thing where there's not really a right or wrong answer. This is strictly an opinion, so you either have an opinion about it or you don't have an opinion about it, and whatever your opinion is your opinion. So let me try to just explain it to you a little bit. Maybe that'll make a little bit of sense. So, pre-orders, okay? Do you love them? Do you hate them? The first choice you had was love them. I know I will get exactly what I want and won't miss it. Okay, 48% of you said, yep, that's you. So just slightly under half. 30% of you said, hate them. It takes the fun out of finding gems at the hobby shop. And then 22% of you said, wow, did I really pre-order 24 locomotives? Okay, now that was the funny option. So the you 22%, yep, you grabbed the funny one, but there's some truth in that, and it's one of the dangers of the pre-order. So let's talk about the dangers of the pre-order first. I will not pre-order something if it requires money down. Why? Because I don't know what's going to happen to that pre-order. It may never get fulfilled. It may get fulfilled right on time. There may be a delay. So if you're going to pre-order something for me, I've already indicated to you that I plan to buy it. And so if you're going to charge me to do that or put money down on it, then we're already at a disconnect. You don't trust me. Now, I understand there's a lot of people who that's necessary for because they can't keep commitments. We have an entire generation that thinks they signed a note to pay for their student loans, and now they don't want to have to pay for their student loans because the bill came due. So I get it. I get that mentality and why a company might say, you know what, yeah, you're going to have to put some money down and really show me a commitment. So, okay, I understand that. However, there are a lot of hobby shops that do not require money down, and that is where I will order my stuff from. Okay, so that's my preference. The problem with that is sometimes you forget you've pre-ordered as much as you've pre-ordered. Even if you don't forget about your pre-orders and everything is on the up and up and you're really looking forward to it, sometimes those pre-orders pile up, and maybe a expected release date changes, or maybe you signed up for more than one thing, not realizing it was all at the same time. Yeah, whatever that may be, you might find yourself really out a lot of money all at one time that maybe you weren't expecting. And so that's one of the dangers of pre-orders. And that actually, it sort of happened to me when the big boy came out. I had some stuff pre-ordered from Scale Trains. I had the DCC and Sound Kato Big Boy pre-ordered. The Kato Big Boy date kind of kept changing, and before you know it, I bought a lot of locomotives in 1 month. Now, my situation is such that no big deal. Kind of sucks to spend it all at once, but okay, that's fine. For folks who are on a budget and maybe don't save up, that could be a problem. So that is a negative to the pre-order. Okay, I get it. You might just say, well, hey, you know what? If you fail at being an adult and you can't remember what you ordered and what you didn't order and kind of budget yourself, that's kind of on you. And yes, I agree with that. That is definitely on you. But sometimes adulting gets hard, and sometimes unexpected things happen. And, you typically pre-order things several months, if not longer, in advance. So sometimes you just sort of fall into a little bit of a gap where, yeah, I knew I ordered it, and it just happens at a bad time, okay? So that is absolutely a disadvantage to the pre-order. Now, finding the gems in the hobby shop, because that's kind of an important one. Like, there is a certain enjoyment to go to the hobby shop, not know exactly what you're going to find, then find that one piece that you've been wanting or been missing, and there it is, and it's like Christmas morning. Okay, so I absolutely understand that. However, most of us do our ordering now online, and we visit the hobby shop very rarely. I know that's a sad statement of the way things are in the market right now, but let's face reality. The reality is retail is an online event more than anything else, just because it's so easy, it's so convenient, and, well, let's face it, there's less people, and I'm all about anything that is less people, as I'm sure many of you are as well. So the pre-orders allow you to stay at home, in the comfort of your own home, and get what you want, and have it shipped to your door. You don't have to go out, so that's kind of nice. But, yeah, I understand, you're not going to the hobby shop, you're not finding the stuff that you want. Now, you still can do that, because, at least for me, a lot of the things that I want that the hobby shop would have over an online pre-order is the older stuff. Older box cars and rolling stock, older models, older locomotives. And so you kind of have to go online or in a store to find that, because it's not something that folks are going to have offered online very often, unless you go to like eBay or something like that, and then you got to be careful, because what are you getting? So you can still find those gems, just like you can still find those gems at train shows. And I love going to train shows. I use that as an opportunity to either buy more of something I already have, like maybe another SD40-2, or I like to find those rare items, out of production items, deluxe innovations, road railers, and double stack cars, things like that. Stuff that I know I'm not going to find laying in a hobby shop. So pre-orders don't preclude you from finding that cool stuff. It just means, what are you looking for? Are you looking for that new stuff, or are you looking for that old stuff? Because the new stuff, if you pre-order it, yeah, you might find it in the hobby shop, you might not, depends on when it comes in. All the hobby shops get stuff at different times. But if you pre-order, it's coming right to your door, or it's coming right to your hobby shop. You'll know exactly when it's in, and you don't have to keep going back. Unless that's the ploy you're trying to do, is keep going back. Then, so let's talk about the benefits of pre-ordering. And this is what made me want to do this video. So you're about to see two of the SD40-3s and just on the screen, and they I've not seen them in the hobby shop yet, and kind of odd, I think, that I haven't seen them yet, but they have appeared on none of the hobby shops that I frequently buy from online, except I had them pre-ordered. So they did make it on. Now, you might say, well, maybe they just haven't posted them yet. They've been out for several weeks. I've had mine for several weeks, and they still haven't made their website. Other items have, so I know that they're still posting things to the website, but these locomotives haven't made it there yet. Now, there's a couple of reasons. One, they may have had that many pre-orders that they pre-ordered everything, and they're sold out. They don't have anything left to put on the shelf. It's very possible. Maybe they just didn't get to it yet. Highly unlikely, because once again, we go back to products sitting on the shelf, not making anybody any money. They've already paid for them, they've received them, and if they aren't on the shelf out there for you to buy, well, then they're making $0 off of their investment. So, if you have it pre-ordered, you already got yours. If you're waiting for it to show up in the hobby shop, there might not be any, because they may not have ordered enough to cover all of the pre-orders. Because one of the cool things is you can do is if you pre-order, you can always call the hobby shop and say, hey, I know I ordered 2 or 3 of these, but I'd really like 2 or 3 more. And chances are, if they've got them, they're yours. So for me, new locomotives particularly, but we'll just say pre-orders in general, I find really nice knowing that I've got the locomotive that I want coming. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to fret about it. As soon as it comes in, the hobby shop is going to call me and say, hey, your stuff is here. I can either pick it up or they can mail it to me. Depending on which hobby shop it is, obviously, kind of depends on whether or not I'm doing which option. But it's taken care of, and I don't have to worry about it, and I like that. And so there's a chance that I may not have the 4 SD40-2s, well, 2 SD40-2s and then 2 SD40-3s that I have now, had I not done that. Because, like I said, all of the hobby shops that I typically order from, and the one here locally doesn't carry them, so I know they don't have it, I wouldn't be able to get it. So that is a major setback for me, because you guys know how much I was looking forward to these locomotives, especially the NS high hood units. So that's my praise for pre-order. And obviously I've experienced the problem with the big boy kind of getting close to some of my other orders, and it was like, okay, those are some big purchases to make all here at once. Kind of sucked. And then I of course had the benefit of getting these SD40-2s without any issue at all, where others who may have been waiting for it to just hit the shelf, they don't have them. Okay, so that's what you guys have voted. Most of you would like to go and do your pre-order, because I'm going to count did I really just pre-order 2 dozen locomotives or whatever that answer was. I'm going to count that in with the folks that are doing the pre-orders. And I know it's kind of hard. You got to keep yourself a little bit under control. But if you do that, you're guaranteed to have whatever it is that you want to pre-order. And if you don't, yes, you get the thrill of the hunt. Yes, you get to go out there and try to find it. But man, that is not something that I want to do. I want to be sure that I have, especially if it's a prize piece or a potential prize piece, want to make sure that I have it. Okay, that was a question that really didn't have a right or a wrong answer. It's pretty much up to you and what you want and what you want to do with the hobby. If collecting is a major part of the hobby and there's certain pieces you must have, pre-orders are great. If those not so important to you and you'll just sort of take whatever's out there and whatever you can get and that makes you happy, then pre-orders probably are not for you. If you're somebody who is maybe on a very fixed income or your budget for modeling stuff is varied, then pre-orders, once again, may not be right for you because you will make a commitment that you don't know if you can pay. For those of you who are in that situation and you need to set budgeting dollars aside, it's a good idea to have a little slush fund and just keep that money off to the side. And when you know that you've got a purchase coming up or a pre-order, you've got that money available for you. So you can kind of keep things moving. But pre-orders, love them or hate them, there wasn't a wrong answer. My commentary is more to show you that there's a reason why they do it. It goes a little bit beyond supply and demand. I know